Despite a few chances to get back in the game, the Chicago Sky suffer a bad loss to the Seattle Storm's defense, a game in which the Sky just couldn't handle the defense of the Storm. 21 turnovers in the game. Me and Steve, we're going to break it all down, talk about it
Damn.
right after this.
Welcome to Chicago Sky Central, and here's your host, Haize.
What's going on, Sky fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Sky Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Sky related. Steve was working to get his light back on, but nonetheless, the Chicago Sky suffer a 77-68 loss to the Seattle Storm. The defense, I expected this game to come down to a defensive effort, and the Storm's defense was just better throughout this game. The offenses were closer than what it may seem like, mainly just because the Sky just suffered offensively in this game. When you look at it, the Storm in this game, 28 of 64 for 43%, 5 of 15 from the three-point line for 33%, and then at the free throw line, they were 16 of 18, I'm sorry. When you look at the Chicago Sky, they only made one less field goal than the Seattle Storm, going 27 of 66. They also only made one less three-pointer at 4 of 12 from the field, and 6 less free throws, going 10 of 13 from the field. So it was a closer game than what the final score would have you believe and look at, but the defense of the Storm was stifling. We basically saw two defenses that wanted to do kind of the similar things to each other, but the Storm were just way more successful in what they wanted to do defensively tonight. On top of those 21 turnovers from the Chicago Sky tonight, it wasn't a game where offense ever truly got a chance to really get in rhythm due to their own fault there. How do you feel, Steve-O?
I just think it wasn't a clean game. It was going to be a very difficult game to win off of how they was going to try to defend us. Like you said, the way they played defensively, they tried to guard perimeter, and they did an excellent job of guarding the perimeter to the point that we could not penetrate the middle. The only person that tried to get to the lane at least was Dana and Kennedy, and even at some point they stopped them at one point. So it's like at the point of trying to get down low, we couldn't, and we all know we already don't have the shooting that's necessary to keep up in this league. So I knew once that happened, it was gonna be a pretty bad game. It was gonna be a tough game, and I just didn't like that we kept on trying to force feed the middle and try to get entry passes, which wasn't going. It wasn't going at all. So once we did that, it was just a lot of mental mistakes, mistakes down the stretch. There was times where Seattle gave us chances in this game to get ourselves back in, but it's simple mental lapses that shouldn't be happening at this moment. Still early, so I expect it to happen, but it can't happen for long. You got to clean up on the little things.
You definitely do. And for example, one of the great plays, kind of not to blame it all on this player or anything, but that kind of just intensifies the Chicago Sky effort today. Like we get the lead down, right? It seems like we're getting in that momentum. I think we get it down to like 4 or 6, something like that. And then Marina Mabry tries to make a cross-court pass that just ends up going into a turnover. Then they hit a 3 on the other side. Like just plays like that, we weren't able to get going. Marina Mabry sitting on the bench most of the third quarter in this game. She goes 3 of 10 overall from the field. She's our leading scorer, only with 7 points. She's also a leading assist person with only 2 assists, 4 turnovers in a game like this. This game was
Lindsay
really cost.
4.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Lindsay Allen had 4. No, Lindsay Allen had 3 turnovers in this one.
I thought I was talking about assists.
Stat sheet. Huh?
I was talking about assists. You said leading assists.
No, I was saying Marina Mabry's usually she's leading on the season. She's leading in assists, but not in this game at all. Like this was just a game that we didn't get in any type of rhythm. It sucks. It really does suck. Kennedy Carter 5 of 9 from the field in this one, stays out of foul trouble, 12 points. He only plays 16 minutes. Diamond DeShields plays 23 minutes. Diamond goes 2 of 8 from the field for only 6 points. It's just there's things all up and down with making mistakes in this game. And, when you have a young team, you are looking for players to kind of, step up some. And, they're going to make some mistakes. It sucks. And that's just what it came down to. The mental mistakes in this game were huge in this one overall. And we just could not get anything going. Every time it felt like this offense was starting to find some rhythm, find something, it was just a little bit short on things as well in that one, man. It's sucky loss, definitely sucky loss
Yeah,
in this one, man.
yeah, it's tough. Like, and it's a humbling loss too. Like, I feel
Yeah,
like we ain't had one of those, and you need a humbling loss to bring you back to earth every now and then because like you said, this ain't college no more. Like for a lot of these players, and this just to show you how good the W is. It's talent every night, and this is a team like you said. Like we didn't expect Skylar to do this tonight, but we knew Skylar could, and Skylar did exactly what she wanted to do tonight. 7 for 12, ended with 21 points. Hey, it's hard to win games when she playing like that. And like you said, you're not getting your points coming from Marina cannot score 7 points. Diamond cannot struggle the way she did for the whole game until
mhm.
the very end with our defense.
Hold on, real quick. Nola Money Saver, I saw you already, and I see that you keep repeating the same thing. You've already been schooled multiple times. You don't have an understanding of the game of basketball, nor the understanding of these ladies. You're new to the WNBA. Sit down, pay attention, and listen. Stop repeating the same goddamn thing in the chat and spamming the same thing. Have a conversation. There's people in here with you. You're right to your opinion, but have a conversation with people. This ain't the type of place for you to spam the same comment over and over again. Have a conversation. There's some people in this chat with very great basketball knowledge. Lean on them. Have that conversation. Go ahead, Steve. I'll keep going with your point.
I'm just my thing is just to go at that point. If it's you can't sit here and blame the coach for everything. If we had
It's
22
execution.
turnovers,
Yeah. And
22
there
turnovers
were
mean
some
the
coaching
team is
mistakes in this one for
there
sure.
was.
Yeah.
Kennedy not playing in the fourth shouldn't have been happened. That long period when Marina Mayberry was out the whole third when she had 3 fouls. Why did you sit her the whole 3? I don't know. But besides those little mental lapses in the game, she tried to force it down low. It wouldn't work because that's what the brunt of our turnovers came from.
Mhm.
And then when they tried to pick and roll, they switched every pick and roll and forced a bad pass.
Yeah.
And they got a turnover. So it's not the fucking coach fault. It's the you
I mean,
as a
and like I
team.
said,
I'm not saying as a team they
yeah.
played bad. It was
Yeah.
it was a team loss. Like it's not just one person. If coach could have probably coached her best game today, we probably could have still lost the game because we wasn't good. Our best scorers didn't score.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and yeah, when you looking for some balance, and Marina Mabry, to her credit, seemed like she was starting getting rhythm, hit a big three and things like that. But especially when Diamond's not playing the way that we need Diamond to play, Kennedy should have been in there in the fourth quarter. Absolutely, she definitely should have played those minutes in the fourth quarter. And I also think that when you look at the size that the Seattle Storm came out, it's easy just to say things like, "Oh, we'll play this player instead of that player." You got to also
That was
look at the
another thing.
matchups. Right, you got to look at the matchups. The Seattle Storm played their matchups excellently today, and the Storm, they want to get Isabel Harrison going, so she plays 10 minutes in this game. I understand that because we are going to eventually need her size, and with Camilla coming back as well in a couple of days, you want to try to get everybody in as much rhythm as possible. But let's be clear: the biggest thing in this game wasn't who was in or out the game in just the fourth quarter, because this team, no matter who. We tried a lot of different combinations out there today as far as personnel, and we
None of
suffer
them
from the
worked.
same mental mistakes as a team the whole time. And to overlook that, to say it's just coaching, is quite frankly idiotic. Now, coaching has its place in there for sure, but when you look at the way and watch the game, unfortunately, the ladies' mentality in this game, you could tell they didn't have that Chicago edge we've been seeing from this team throughout most of it. So
I gave it like the example in a game. I was like,
yeah,
this is the first time we used to doing the punching. We ain't really got punched in the mouth for real.
yeah, we got punched today.
Like we
Definitely.
got punched today. Like there is no team. I thought Connecticut played like us. No, these mugs was playing defense just like us. To play the passing lane the way they did, there was no clean entry passes. There was no clean handoffs. Nothing was clean with this team. It was just wasn't clean. We was not mentally focused this whole game. You don't sit here and you're down 5 and you make a costly cross-course pass. There was a time where Angel was just lost out there sometimes. And she's a rookie, I know, but she was. There was times with freaking Elizabeth Williams smoked like 4 straight layups. We was not playing our best game. It just the proof is there. Our best scorers didn't show up. We didn't shoot worth a damn. We never really shoot worth a damn, but we really didn't shoot worth a damn. And 22 turnovers. It's very hard to win games when it's 22 turnovers.
Yeah, it's hard to get in a rhythm like that, right? And don't make any mistake. Like the Seattle Storm also had 8. That's why I said, like, when you look at the raw numbers, it was fairly close in this game, and that's when it comes down to execution. We didn't execute well enough as a team in this game in any facet of the game. There's nothing that we did well that you can look at and say consistently throughout this game we did this well. You got to give credit to Angel Reese for having the double-double. Appreciate that. Going 3 for 3 from the free throw line. Got to love that. 2 steals on top of it. Only 3 turnovers. Still want to see that come down some as well. But she also made mental mistakes as far as not boxing out in certain times, allowing kind of the officiating to get to her a little bit. Dana Evans, 5 for 9, looks okay on the stat sheet, but when you watch the game and see the way that she executed as well, this team in the way that they played, right? It's like you saw that the Storm's defense was getting in the head of the Chicago Sky, the players. That is why Spoon was getting frustrated over there. She tried to send a message by having Marina Mabry out, out most of the third quarter, and sit down, put her back in, but you got to get better. You definitely got to get better out of that. So
got to get better, and it's all right. It's early. We just got one of our last people that we're expecting back to get here. It is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. Pete Wright with a super chat here says, super chat, Dana should not be the point guard. She didn't come off the bench. She does not get the offense going. Well, that's not how we run our offense. So we don't run a traditional offense where the point guard is, because with Marina Mabry out there, she's going to initiate a lot of the offense, especially when she's playing better as well. And Coach Spoon does like operating offense from the wing as well because Dana can score. Now, I'm not saying that maybe a more traditional point guard can't do that, but the fact of the matter is we don't have that. Kennedy Carter, as great as she is scoring athletically, how she can get to the rim, she's still not a traditional point guard. That's not how this version of the team is going to run. The best chance that you have of seeing kind of that more traditional half court is probably going to be with Marina Mabry being the one to initiate the offense, which is what we've seen so far in the 5 games so far this season. But that's not, Dana Evans isn't, she can do it. We've seen her do it in Europe, but that's not necessarily how we've been running it this year. So not saying you're wrong in your estimation, but I think that that's just not how we are playing currently right now. We're not playing that traditional, the point guards bringing up the ball, calling the plays at half court. That's just not what we're doing. Do we need to do some more of that? I think, yeah. And I think we could see a little bit more of that when Camilla comes down, because Camilla's ability to run with guards on top of her pick and roll. The thing that Camilla does so well in pick and roll type offense, more traditional offense, is she creates that space. She sets such hard picks and she rolls to the basket so well. It has to draw the defense in, which is going to open up the mid-range and some more three-point shooting for this team as well. How you feeling, Steve-O?
Yeah, that's why I felt like coming to this game, not even this game, this season, I thought Lindsay Allen was going to be the point guard, because I just felt like when it comes down to it, poise, playmaking, decision-making, she's our best guard when it comes to that. And if you see down the stretch, she finished the game tonight over Kennedy and Dana, even though Dana was out there at times. But I just think based off what we've seen for Anna off rip, she's the type of player that she doesn't need to start, but she can finish the game because she's going to impact the game scoring and defensively. When it comes to LA, we need a sense of some form of calmness and direction and leadership at that point guard decision. And it just, I don't know if Dana has that point guard in her, to say the least, because if you don't have that off rip, if you don't have that as a child, it's kind of hard to develop into that. And LA has always been that ever since she's been a pro. So I would like it to do that way. I would like LA to start, and I'm gonna stick.
You've been saying that since the preseason. I got to give you credit. Yeah. You've been saying that Lindsay Allen should be the starter because she does have more of those traditional point guard skills. And I mean, the thing is, at some point, if the offense keeps being a struggle, right, you're going to have to try something different. Now, I do think they may wait till Camilla comes in here, even though you'll see what Camilla, how quick she's inserted back into the starting lineup and things like that. But I do think that maybe they do look to make a change at the point guard. But I don't think that for those that are complaining with how Dana runs the offense, I just don't think a lot of that changes with Kennedy Carter. She is a more
No,
consistent scorer, but as far as the running the offense aspect of it, I don't know if Kennedy changes that
I
in
keep
the way that people are calling
yeah.
for it to change. It
I
could.
keep
I'm just
saying
saying based off what we've seen.
I'm gonna keep saying this, and I ain't moving from it. When
Mm.
I want Kennedy in the game, I want her to have one mind: attack. I don't want her making plays because she was never that type of player. It was you need a bucket, give her the ball. She's been like that since high school. That's what her job is. When we needed a bucket like today, she was the person to go to, but we didn't do that. But that's another story. But to me, she shouldn't be in those decision making role. We don't need her to out there facilitating. We need her to put pressure on his defense and make the defense think.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, when with you calling for Lindsey Allen to be the starting point guard, how concerned are you from having both Kennedy then and Dana Evans coming off the bench?
It's too different. I'm cool with it because Dana's going to play more of the outside, look for that shot on the perimeter. Where we already know Kennedy's going to look for the mid range or she's going to attack.
Mm-hmm.
Versus Dana, she either looking for the three or she's going to attack. That way, they don't really get in each other's way.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it works out. For this guy and see how much longer it is before Coach Boone does start making adjustments, with lineups and things like that. Because now that Isabel Harrison did come in, she's able to play 10 minutes. Once Camilla comes back, gets completely kind of in rhythm and things. Don't expect that to take long. I do think that, Coach Spoon may take another 3, 4, 5 games, but then I do think we could start seeing some changes. And unfortunately, I'll say this: as great as much as we have a love for Diamond DeShields on the championship team, most of her career has been here in Chicago as well. She has to find a way to start bringing it more consistently. We need her in that starting lineup to bring it. We have to. We can't keep having 2 for 8 games from Diamond DeShields. We just can't do it.
Man, she like her shot don't look like what's the guy on that had that weird funky it was just in my head. Markel, the point guard, had the weird little shoulder injury.
Mm-hmm.
She got his touch right now. It's weird. Like the touch is not there. The form look amazing, but the touch is just not there, and I don't know what it is. She need to get it together because that every shot she takes is completely off. Everything. Yeah. And I don't know. And to me, it might be a confidence thing because in the preseason, she did a dribble pull up, and just the defender waved at her. She double clutched her shot. That's a sign of a confidence issue. She's not confident in her shot. But for somebody that we've been seeing on Twitter, her posting on her social media, she been putting up shots. She been working on the game. I don't know what it is. I think at this point, it might be a confidence thing.
And it may be trusting her body as well. Like you're a year out of basketball. On top of that, you suffered two different now injuries since you've come back just with the Chicago Sky over 7 games, 2 in preseason and 5 now in the regular season. So it could come down to her kind of learning to trust her body, being out of the sport as long as she's been. I have confidence she's going to figure it out. Right, I'm not too worried about Diamond DeShields figuring it out. We've seen she's dealt with way more adversity than this, right? We're talking about somebody who was suffering seizures to come back and be able to trust her body to do what she did in the finals for the Chicago Sky. So we know that competitor in it. She's going to eventually figure it out.
And did you see that tweet? I think, and it just dawned on me because I forgot to mention it. She did make a tweet, I think the last game. She said that was her first game that she played where she felt no pain. So maybe to what you said, she's probably still getting used to trusting her body.
Yeah, and it takes some time. I know we like to think that it's basketball. You've been playing so long. Let's just get back out there and get it. And especially with
timing.
Diamond, yeah, it's timing. It's things like this. You're trying to also figure out your timing with players you haven't played with before. Trusting your body again. I trust that she's gonna eventually come to it, and she's gonna be a big part of that. The way that she can bust up a zone defense, the way that she can get to the rim, how athletic she is, that's gonna be really big for the Chicago Sky's offense. And for a team that we knew coming into the season, the offense was gonna be one of the biggest struggles for this team. We need Diamond. We need Marina. We need Kennedy Carter. We're gonna need Isabel Harrison eventually to get back and start being able to hit some shots too. We're gonna need that, and that's just you. As good as our defense is, and as much potential as we have there, you still have to be sound offensively if you want to really win and push this. And so we're gonna need those ladies to get in rhythm for sure as well. So
for sure, and they will. They most definitely will.
yeah, for sure, for sure. When's our next game? When do we have another game? Is it not till Saturday? Do we have another game between now and then?
Our next game
Against
is
Los Angeles on Thursday. So
Thursday.
we'll be back
Yeah.
Thursday, at least live. We'll have a daily episode between now and then. Face off against the Los Angeles Sparks in Chicago. It's our last home game before we go out on the road to play against the Indiana Fever on ESPN. So make sure you guys stay tuned in for that. Any last words or thoughts or anything, Steve, before we get up out of here, brother?
Hey, just a bump in the road, y'all. We be good.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
all.
listen, we're going to go through these growing pains. We're a new team with young players, and even when you look at Kennedy, she's still a very young player, right? And she was out of basketball for a year as well. So it's going to take some time for everything to be as smooth. We're going to have glimpses of it, right? We're going to have games where we're rocking and rolling. Things look good. Things look easy. But it's going to take time for that to be consistent, right? And so those inconsistencies are things you have to expect when you have a new coach, you have a new team, you have people falling into new roles. But once we get on the other side of that, and I've told you guys, June 1st, from June 1st about June 12th when we play Connecticut, that's going to be those 5 games or so are going to be hugely important because that's going to be the 5 games that Camilla is going to have to get back in rhythm, get caught up with the team, if it even takes that. And after that point, from there on, expect the Chicago Sky to be firing. I know we have the longer break as well between July 16th to August 15th. We have that month-long break because of the Olympics, and then we come back and finish out the season over the last 2.5 months. But from that point in, from Camilla coming back to that date, this team is going to be rocking and rolling. I have really big confidence over that. So
most definitely.
So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned in with this, man. You guys can follow us at Chicago Sky Pod. We're the #1 Chicago Sky focused podcast in the world. That just is what it is, man. You guys can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, Chicago Sky Central @gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail, 773-270-2799. We're the #1 spot for everything Chicago Sky related. We out this mug. Peace, y'all.